Welcome to the Marvelous Post-Blip Podcast, a podcast of all things Marvel on the Fangirl Zone. I am Mischievous Dave.
I'm Shawn, Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve, and today we're talking about episode 4 of season 1 of Miss Marvel, titled Seeing Red, written by Sabir Pirzada, A.C. Bradley, and Matthew Chauncey, and directed by Sharmeen Obad Chinoy.
Wow. Yeah, Seeing Red. Double meaning there. Seeing the red like red scarf and seeing red like angry. But some people can't help but see red, like the old saying. All right, Shawn. Enough of my palaver. What'd you think? You have an initial reaction for us?
I liked it that they were introducing like a whole group of people. And then I was kind of like, wait a minute, are they killing everybody off? So I got a little worried, wondering how it's going to play out because going down the internet rabbit hole, wasn't sure if they are real good or bad for a while. So I'm still saying thumbs up and I'm in for it. And I'm like, oh, she's kind of got a crush. How sweet. But we see how that worked out last time. So I'm a little leery about that.
Steve?
Fun episode.
Yep.
Definitely like getting a little more history of what's her backstory is. So that's good. More than likely, we'll get a little bit more the next episode, seeing that we got dropped into 1942 there at the end. That's going to be interesting as well. So, thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I know we're not giving it ratings, but if we did, I would give it 4 out of 5 flying teddy bears. It's not a teddy bear. It's an empty pillow. Sure, kid.
Sure, yeah. You say so, Kamala.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was fun too. They seem to be making special attention to make sure we know partition history.
Right.
You know, a lot went on in the world.
Kind of a big deal that a lot of people don't know it. I didn't know a lot about it. I've honestly learned about it from Doctor Who and then now with Miss Marvel. Like, that's not something we covered in school.
What about that 4-hour movie we all watched like 25 years ago? Gandhi.
Gandhi, yep.
Yeah, that was a big deal too.
Yeah, I watched that when I was like little, so I don't remember much except it being a really long movie.
Well, in 1942, it was a pivotal year for the Allies, and World War II was still raging on, but pretty much a turning point. But India was mixed up in the Second World War also. So to have the partition and all this going and fighting in the Second World War, man, it's a lot to take for people.
Yep.
Okay. All right. How about we jump in with the recap because it's, so super long anyway. Kamala travels around the world to solve the mystery of the bangle and her family's history. Can I say, like, jumping into it, the way the last episode ended and then jumping into this episode, I'm like, wow, that didn't take much to talk her mom into anything.
Yeah,
Was
I think
it just
we get
me?
some insight. No, yeah, it was a little surprising too, considering the history we knew between her and her mother. Like, why?
Right.
But mothers and daughters.
And do the rules of grounding stretch to international waters?
You know what? I don't think that was ever officially established. I would like to know myself, so.
Exactly. Kamala Khan is asking for a friend, and that friend is her. She and Muniba are 30,000 feet in the air traveling to Karachi, and it's safe to say that the poor say that the international flight has been 10. Poor unsuspecting passenger in the middle seat between them has no idea the world of trouble Kamala has recently caused her family, but hearing things like you ruined your brother's wedding certainly clues him in.
I felt really bad for the dude in the middle.
Oh, absolutely.
Most people are just like, I think I'll excuse myself for a minute and dash out of there.
You want to swap seats with me? Let me sit on the aisle? Muniba is still pretty upset with her daughter. It also doesn't help that Kamala has been texting Nakia nonstop and hasn't received a single reply.
Hey, now why is it I gotta turn my phone off when I fly, but they're on an international flight and she can mess around on her phone? What the heck?
Finally on the ground, Kamala is overwhelmed by the sights and sounds of the bustling city around her. Waiting at the airport are her cousins who have come to greet them, and one very special guest, Sana, Muniba's mom and Kamala's grandmother. Sana is elated to see her granddaughter, bringing her in for a hug and a kiss, and immediately offering up the jewelry on her wrist as for her reunion with Muniba. It's a little cooler as she wonders if her daughter is on another weird diet.
I was wondering if that's like a cultural thing. It's like, here, take all my jewelry. It's like, I mean, normally grandparents are like, here, let me feed you, and like, we're stuffing sweets down your throat, but it's like, oh wow, she's just giving her like all of her jewelry. That's like, to me, that was kind of strange, but like I said, like, my great grandparents were always like, eat, you're so sweet.
Right.
I'm not anymore. Thanks, great grandmas, but we do it.
Well, considering her age group, you just start giving stuff away, really.
Right. You want to make sure your important things get handed down to somebody who's going to appreciate them.
Yeah, and she hadn't seen her such a long time. What?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, yeah. I am dead serious. My grandmother is 96 years old, and she is already planning to outlive my father and myself. So that's why I'm like, wait, this is a thing?
Not in your family, it is.
Right.
Not.
Yeah, we got a hold of some of the wife's father's clocks and recently, and have started divvying those out to the family. So, yeah, we do it.
Everyone except my grandma. Okay, got it.
Right. You better have a pretty good will.
You know what? She worries me. I'm just throwing that out there. So, listeners, if I end up on the news, everyone better look at my grandma first. I'm just saying that. Anyway, let's jump back into the show. I was going to say reality, but our reality of the moment.
Yes, the three women pile into a car and head off for Sana's house. A sprawling estate in the city, chock full of family history, knickknacks, and Sana's artwork. That was some house.
Yeah. I thought, like, all the houses were supposed to be, like, teeny tiny.
Right.
Nice.
Guess they don't live in the old part of town.
No. No, downtown is...
Maybe they're more in the country area with more space. Okay. The suburbs, that's what I mean.
Yes. As she tells Kamala, so much of her family's history was lost during the partition, so she wanted to record some of it as best she could. Art seems to be the perfect medium. She wasn't too bad either.
No.
Sana shows Kamala a painting she did of her mother, Aisha, done off memory, since she can barely remember what the woman looked like all those years ago.
That is sad.
Oh, yes, it is.
Because it was really sweet and sad all at the same time.
Yes. However, the costume is missing one thing, but neither one of them can put a finger on what it is yet. Sounds like Kamala's costume.
Okay, was anybody expecting Grandma to give her, like, the red sash or something at this point? Like, I was expecting...
I didn't know. I had no idea.
Right.
I thought she was going to make
Grandma's
something
gonna give her something, and I'm still waiting for it to happen. Like, something major.
It will.
For Kamala, this is a great segue into asking about the bangle. I always wondered, couldn't they think of a better name than the bangle? But everyone calls it the bangle. Bangle it is. There must be some more formal name for it, like, not bracelet, but
gauntlet?
Whatever. Yeah, gauntlet. Yes. Okay, we'll do bangle then. Why did Nani send it to Kamala in the first place? Am I a jinn? Kamala asks hesitantly. Of course, Sana replies. That's what your father told me. With this, Kamala freaks out, wondering how her grandmother could be so calm about this. But Sana doesn't see what all the fuss is about. It's just genetics.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I'd have been a little freaked out too.
Right.
Oh, you're fine. You're just an ice giant. It's just like, it was no big deal.
Can I grant my own wishes?
Right.
Another winning Powerball ticket, darn.
Yeah.
This is all neither here nor there, as Sana wants Kamala to focus on the important things. The last time the bangle was used, it saved her life during the partition. She once again retells the story of how she was separated from her father on the train platform, but somehow found her way back to him via a trail of stars. And now that Kamala is in Pakistan, they can all figure out what the train vision means together. Kamala's still confused, though. She doesn't understand what's going on, and she feels like she's breaking more than she can fix right now. Sana isn't fazed by her granddaughter's panicking. She knows that eventually she'll see some beauty in all this. It might take some time. Of course, Sana's seen a few things.
Yes, she has.
Yeah. You think your day's bothering you? That's nothing. Retreating to bed, Kamala has dreams about everything that's happened the past few days. The fight of the clandestine, the train, Bruno getting hurt. She's shaken awake by her cousins who are eager to get a jump on the day and head out to lunch. Unfortunately, no one told Kamala that jeans and an AdventureCon t-shirt were not suitable for lunch in Karachi, and she's feeling the heat from both her whole family and the weather and the spicy food. Her first day in the city is a struggle. Well, isn't your mother supposed to check you before you go out the door anyway?
Exactly.
Yeah, you think somebody would have said, oh no, where we're going, you can't wear that.
Yeah, she went to the country club. I mean, come on.
And on top of that, if you're not used to the food, somebody should warn you.
Yes.
Oh, I think they take particular delight in not warning her.
Yes.
I 100% believe that. Because I know I've had someone, oh no, try it, it's good. It's like, is it spicy? No, just try it, you'll really like it.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything
tears
about
are coming down your face as you're trying to eat it.
It's like my transition from Mexican food in Massachusetts, haha, and Mexican food in Southern California. Big difference.
Yes.
Big difference. I come back and I'm all Mexican food snob. You call this Mexican food? Please.
You're like, no, this is nothing. It's bland. I don't know if I'd be able to like hang with the food though over in Karachi because it looked good and I want to try it, but I'm like, I don't think. Can I just have some bread?
Yeah.
Bread. I think in the future she says something about food and it's being red, and they're like, yeah, it's supposed to be red. And she has no idea. She's clueless. She's just had American
food.
Yeah, Americanized everything.
Yeah.
And when you try something that's actual authentic, you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Even though you might be like, oh my God, that's my favorite. And then you try something, you're like, oh God, what? See, that's why at least Mexican food out here isn't so bad. I always have my little Mexican ladies that are like talking to me in Spanish and I get every third word. I'm like, okay, this is going to be good. I'm good with this. This is the good stuff. But anyway, speaking of lunch, her cousins decided to take her on a heritage walk, but she's not too enthusiastic about seeing the site. I think she would like to see some of it. I mean, learn something.
Right.
Her cousin doesn't know how to work a phone anyway. She's like,
yes.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
It's not like she's been there before, apparently.
Yeah, I was waiting for her brother to say, you take a left in Albuquerque or something.
You notice it throughout the episode, people are going left and right. And when they say left, they point to the right.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. See, I thought the guy was just screwing with her doing that. Like,
I can count
not
two
where
more.
I'm pointing, but
There's two more times when people are talking left and right and they're actually gesturing in the opposite direction. I think most people wouldn't do that. Maybe they're so cogent, they're like, yeah, you're left, not my right, but not most people.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? Which way? Well, her cousins, yes, seemed very confused and lost too, but they suggested meeting friends for coffee, and Kamala sends them along without her. She wants to go check out the train station instead. Excuse me.
The what?
I am not from here, so yes, please, cousins, leave me alone so I can wander around the city. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb.
Yeah, I just stood there with my mouth kind of open like, what? That doesn't seem like the smartest of ideas, but apparently no big deal.
Yeah,
she figured some nice soul would tell her how to get to the train station.
Yeah, but she had to get back home, too.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just seemed like a bad move, but I digress.
Left, right, and then a little
I thought
left.
he was going to, like, basically bring her back around in the square. It's like, really?
Right.
But back at Karachi Station, or I should say, finally at Karachi Station, it's bustling with people, and there's a fenced-off side, which is closed for renovation. But of course, that's what catches Kamala's eye. Big surprise. She slips past the barricade, and on the other side, she puts on her blue mask that Bruno gave her, and Kamala stops in front of a mural of Ant-Man. You can start small and still be larger than life. When out of nowhere, a dagger appears on the wall, barely missing her. Now, I do want to say, too, at the mural, I was like, that is Ant-Man, right? It's not supposed to be something else. I was wondering, I'm like, is there some kind of other superhero they haven't mentioned? But Kamala and I were both startled with that dagger, and she turns around to find a masked man opposite her. And before she can fully process what's happening, the two are tussling back and forth. When Kamala asks if he's been following her, he answers that he sensed the Noor, and the two trade blows and teenage insults. During the lull in the fight, the masked man realizes that Kamala isn't a clandestine and asks how she got the bangle from Aisha. And she was pretty surprised, and she's like, how do you know Aisha? And then suddenly Kamala is seeing, oh crap, security guards coming at them. And they both run off. It's like, wait a minute, you were just trying to kill her. Now you're like, come with me.
If you want to live.
I would say he heard the line, yeah. Realizing neither is a threat to the other, the masked man, Kareem, takes Kamala to the secret hideout. What? You're just giving up your secret hideout that quick? Okay. For the Red Daggers, a group of warriors who tend to stick to the shadows. Not so much this time.
Yeah.
But, that fight, I think he was just testing her because he could sense who she was. So let's give her the test, see if she passes it. If she's got the skills, plus it's a kind of a teenage thing to do, too.
Yes.
Instead of talking a bunch of smack, it's like, let's fight a little, too.
I know you want to kiss me. Oh, no, you want to kiss me. No, I don't. Yes, you do.
Well, at the secret hideout, Kamala meets Waylon, the leader of the Red Daggers, who offers up an ominous message. When you're ready, we have much to discuss. Bum, bum, bum.
Obi-Wan Walid.
Yes.
And I was trying to figure out who Khalid was. And I was like, oh, he's from Into the Badlands. It took me a good 5 minutes, which I'm wondering if he's doing his fighting here, because I believe he did in that show, which they had a lot of choreography, which was
a lot. He's still only in his early 20s, which means he was a true teenager in that. The actor's name is Aramis Knight.
Yes, thank you. He's amazing with all of this, so I'm looking forward to seeing more.
Yep.
Okay, you teenager.
Right? I'm going to gush about all the fighting choreography.
To start, the Red Daggers protect people from the threats of the unseen, which Kamala immediately suggests might be the Jinn. But not so fast, as Walid explains. If Thor landed in the Himalaya mountains, he would have been considered a Jinn. For the Red Daggers, the word is simply used to explain anything out of the ordinary for this world. Now, as for the clandestines, they have been following Kamala. It's easiest to show Kamala, and it's probably better if Walid explains it. As he tells her, the clandestines and Aisha are from another realm. There are many dimensions around us that we cannot see, and this is just one of them, and this is Aisha's home. It's connected to our world, but hidden behind a veil of Noor that separates our world from them.
They were so calm about all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. This happens all the time. It's like, what? Why are we so chill?
Well, they haven't had to deal with the clandestines for, 60, 70 years until the bangle popped back into circulation again?
Plus, if you have a Thor in your world, things aren't normal anyway.
Yes.
I guess, yeah.
If the clandestines use the bangle to tear down the veil, they'll unleash their world onto ours. And, well, to quote Bruno, things go boom. And that is why it's important to keep the bangle safe. That's when Walid sees something on the bangle he didn't realize there was an inscription on it. Kamala asks what it says, and he reads aloud, "What you seek is seeking you."
Oh.
Yeah.
Dun!
Kamala wonders if that's an important message or something. Even Walid doesn't know, but it must have been important to someone.
Yeah. Thank you, Obi-Wan Walid.
Yeah. For telling us absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I know. Just getting us more worried. Meanwhile, halfway around the world, the clandestines are being held at the damage-controlled Supermax prison. Some Supermax.
Yeah, Supermax?
Really? Yeah, that was like the worst prison ever. I honestly thought they were going to be on the raft.
Let's take this wet and soggy tunnel with no cameras or tons of guards, and it's almost like bathroom break time.
Yeah.
Right. At least if they had taken them to the raft, it's like we all know that's established. It's supposed to be people with powers, blah, 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 blah. But this, it looks like, okay, we're just going to go hang out in the tunnel.
But even added security, isn't going to stop Najma and the rest of the clandestines, including Kamran, from breaking out after a fight in one of the transportation hallways. Didn't strike me as a transportation hallway either. It's just where the pipes go.
Yeah.
And why were they connected to the pipes as they were walking?
Yeah.
Fun so you can loop around. The group is free and ready to head out on the run, except for Kamran. He's injured in the fight, and he's helped out of the prison to safety. Najma announced that her son is not coming with him. Boy, is she hard.
Yep.
He made his choice. Now he has to live with it, Najma says, and takes one last look back at her son before heading off to find the bangle. Back at Nani's house, Kamala heads outside to talk with her grandmother, who asks if she's found what she's looking for. Kamala isn't sure yet, but either way, it's been an education. I bet. Sana might be exactly the person to calm Kamala down, and as she confesses to her granddaughter, easy, Sana, take it easy.
Yeah.
As she confesses to her granddaughter that even she's still figuring out her life out, there's no rush to even do it. That's when Red Dagger texts her, asking if she's free and wants to hang out. Oh, I told you. And Sana knows her granddaughter must go off and be a kid. As for Sana's own child, Moniba is on a cleaning rampage through the house. That should be a little obnoxious.
Yes.
Someone cleaning your house. And she's bewildered as to why her mother needs to save all these things forever. And why are there so many toffee boxes everywhere? Sana explained she knew Moniba always liked toffee, so she kept some around just in case she ever came back home. This opens up the
was there toffee in the boxes, or they were just empty boxes? Because then, like, well, she isn't here, and I've had these a month.
Yeah. I think there still was some that had toffee in them, but most of them were empty.
Right. This opens the emotional floodgates for Moniba, who explains to her mother that it was tough growing up because everyone shunned her due to her crazy mother. Thanks. Sana tries to explain that she was just trying to share her stories with her daughter, but that's not what Moniba wanted. She just wanted her mother. With night falling, Kareem takes Kamala to a bonfire to meet some of his friends, but Kamala needs a nickname. Call her Sloth Baby. That's endearing.
That's the only thing she could think of was her sloth bear. And
when she's offered some food from the group, Kamala takes it hesitantly and wonders if it's spicy, remembering the meal she had early. Taking a bit, she realized she likes it. Maybe being with Red Dagger and his friends is just the place where she needed to be right now.
How is it like nobody's worried about her going out? Like, oh, you just met these people, go hang out, it's fine.
Right, after dark. In a strange city.
Aren't you grounded? I mean, there's like a lot of questions there.
I don't know what they thought, but wasn't it her mother that said she had fun with the cousins? She wasn't with her cousins. So apparently she has no idea, and the cousins, who knows where they are?
Right.
Okay, so are the cousins going to cover is the next question.
I don't know. They like
us? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think they like to burn her.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But let's skip to the next day, where Kamala's out and about again by herself. Finds herself back at the Red Dagger hideout with Waleed and Kareem, learning how to harness her power. Again, maybe her grandma's running interference.
Yeah, it could be.
Knows. Waleed seems to think that due to Kamala's genetics and the fact that she's from this world, she can harness the Noor while also having it be completely unique to her. But training is suddenly cut short when Najma and the rest of the clandestines come crashing through the ceiling to grab Kamala and get the bangle. They are just so...
They couldn't use the kitchen door?
No, they couldn't find the secret entrance, so they just had to come crashing through the...
Yes, there's a huge open space in the ceiling and a transom.
Again, hidden hideout, super secret, but we're going to have a skylight here. In case anybody's up there, they can check us out. A fight breaks out. Big surprise as Waleed holds everyone off long enough for Kamala and Kareem to get out of the building, which they didn't get very far before we ended up joining them. But once outside, they jump into the back of a pedicab and the chase is on. Well, that was probably a poor choice because pedicabs don't go that fast.
Yeah.
But racing through the streets of Karachi, Kamala manages to use enough hard light to save a family on a bike that just doesn't want to get started, while also stopping the clandestines chasing them on a truck until they are thrown off the pedicab. Now on foot, Kamala and Kareem run through the streets as Waleed stays behind to hold the clandestines off again. Hoping to hide, they turn through alleyways, dodging through people and things, and eventually Waleed catches up to them, and so does Najma. How? How are you catching up to them? Like,
she's a genie.
Oh, wait. I guess. High up on a balcony, Waleed confronts Najma, and from his position, he notices that the clandestine is close behind Kamala and Kareem. Waleed flings 2 fatal daggers, knocking out Kamala and Kareem's pursuer, but this moment gives Najma the chance to stab him in the back, quite literally.
Yeah.
Kamala and Kareem turn the corner to find him lying on the ground in front of them after he had fallen from that balcony then, which it's like, oh my gosh. Kamala wants to stay and help him, but Kareem knows it's too late and they've got to run.
Well, if this was Star Wars and you got hit with a red lightsaber, you'd be fine on the next episode.
Right.
Well, it seals itself off. Come on.
Right.
Automatically cauterizes the wound.
But the fall may have done it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pair run into an open-air bazaar only to find that it's a dead end and realize they're going to have to fight their way out. While they easily stop the first two clandestines that show up, Najma's another story. Furious that Kamala is still putting up a fight, she turns to face her screaming, "Enough! Excuse me? You're trying to kill me. Maybe no?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think it's enough. Sorry, lady. With one swift blow, Najma slams her weapons onto the bangle and Kamala goes flying backward. And, hello, she finds herself at a train station. Looking around, the place is familiar but completely different from anywhere she's ever seen before. People try and get on a nearby waiting train as she weaves through the crowd, and she realizes that there's a ton of people here saying goodbye. And we hear a lot of, wait, it's the last train. Are they going to have room? Can we get on this?
Right.
Then she climbs atop the train to get a better view and realizes exactly where and when she is. It's 1947, and this is partition. That had me all kind of freaked out, though, because I'm like, wait, is she really there? Is it not? Is it like a vision, like the train before? Did somehow Najma activate some other weird power we don't know about? Did Najma get shot off somewhere, too? Stay tuned for the next episode. That's what I felt like was going to happen, because it was so dramatic there.
Yeah.
What did they say earlier? Whatever you seek is seeking you. So
yeah,
whatever that knife did to it, cast its magic.
Yes, it did.
I know a few people in my life, not me, I'm brave, who would be in that crowd and go, too many people.
Yes.
That's like con, so it's fine.
Yeah.
You go to Comic-Con and you're like, oh, God.
Yeah, I know. Well, after a while, everyone starts to get hot.
Yes.
Sweaty, and it gets a little stinky under those costumes. I've been there. So, what's on the old skillet? I know, Easter eggs. So, Ms. Marvel's trip to Karachi is from the comics. Episode 4 is heavily adapted comics, where Kamala took a trip to Karachi at a time when she was feeling rootless and wanted to find herself. Aw. There, she stayed with her Nani, and she was made to feel welcome, although she was more than a little embarrassed to realize her grandmother was dialing the spice down to white people level. The story is very different. Ms. Marvel is inhuman in the comics, and the trip to Kamala Khan's grandmother isn't connected to any ancient mystery. Still, episode 4 successfully captures the rootlessness of Ms. Marvel's number 12. In Jersey, I stick out because I'm too Pakistani, Kamala reflects in the comics. Here, I stick out because I'm too American. Yeah, I think we've all been there somewhere in our life like that. Episode 4 features one particular amusing Easter egg, or a QR code that once again gives viewers a free downloadable copy of Ms. Marvel number 12. That's appropriate. This is the comic that inspired much of the episode, so it's appropriate reference. Moon Knight featured similar Marvel QR codes, so presumably they're going to become a constant. As long as they don't overdo it, I suppose.
I didn't see that.
No.
Nope. It was the scene with the guy giving her directions to the train station, if I remember right.
So, we get another Ant-Man Easter egg. Still, Kamala learns some things are global. It seems the Avengers are celebrated just as much in Pakistan as they are in Jersey. That's particular the case of Scott Lang's Ant-Man, who seems to have become an international celebrity because of the podcast in which he gives people a blow-to-blow account of the final battle with Thanos in Avengers Endgame. While visiting Karachi's train station, Kamala sees a mural celebrating Scott Lang's Ant-Man with the comment, "You can start small and still be larger than life." Cute. The caption pays homage to Adrian Alfona, a celebrated artist in the Ms. Marvel comics, and while the comment itself seems to be an appropriate one, given Kamala's cousins noted her small size.
Yeah.
You guys hear about Paul Rudd the other day? Yeah, he befriended a little boy that was in the hospital.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He answered, what was it, a tweet maybe? He just wants to make new friends. And so Paul Rudd to the rescue. I'll be your new friend. He gave him an autographed Ant-Man helmet, too.
What? That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. And now on to the MCU's Red Daggers. Episode 4 introduces... What's that?
I said dun, dun, dun.
Episode 4 introduces Kamala to the Red Daggers. In the comics, Red Dagger is the vigilante operating in Karachi who crosses paths with Kamala during her visit there. Kareem later took part in a student exchange program, heading to Jersey and joining Kamala's class, much to her irritation, because her teacher had assumed they might know one another, both being in Pakistan.
Oh.
Thanks, white people.
Yeah.
The MCU's Red Dagger is very different to the comics, adjusted to fit in with Ms. Marvel's origin story. It seems this version of Kareem is part of a group trained to counter the clandestine, who they perceive as the threat to the entire world, if not two. The first encounter at the train station may be a nod to Ms. Marvel's number 23, where Red Dagger and Ms. Marvel teamed up to deal with a runaway train. Kamala is taken aback when Red Dagger challenges her and makes a throwaway joke. How do you not know I'm Canadian? Boom, boom, psh. In the real world, Ms. Marvel actress Iman Vellani is Canadian. So
yeah.
Double burn. And, I thought of Batman, too, in the Batcave. The Red Daggers have a Batcave of sorts. The Red Daggers essentially have their own version of the Batcave. Their version of the Batmobile, though?
Yeah.
A secret hideout where they train and plan for the next actions against the Jinn. Curiously, dialogue suggests that the Red Daggers have existed for centuries, protecting Earth in secret from the shadows. The clandestines claim to have been only exiled to Earth a century ago, so the Red Dagger must have previously been dealing with other Jinn as well. I can buy that. Why not?
Yep.
Actually, when Waleed mentions other universes or dimensions, however he referred to them, I wonder if they've been dealing with beings from those other places too, and if we're ever going to see any of them.
Right.
See, I kind of thought with calling them clandestines that had dealt with them, because I thought that clandestines were those big, giant, godlike things from Eternals.
Actually, I think it's the worst nickname for a group of bad guys ever.
Right.
Especially if you're in Pakistan. Clandestines, really? So the multiverse lies at the heart of the MCU's Phase 4, but unfortunately it's being handled in a rather inconsistent manner, with key terms such as dimensions defined differently depending on the show. That's been a problem in science fiction shows all the time. During Fringe, are you in another universe? Or are you in another dimension? And people had different definitions for it, too.
Yep.
Ms. Marvel's Noor dimension is akin to those seen in the first Doctor Strange film, in that is another plane of existence sitting over the real world. Unfortunately, according to Waleed, using the bangle has the potential to cause the dimensions to collide, and he believes that would result in Earth's destruction. It is interesting to note that throughout this whole conversation, Waleed carefully avoids grouping Aisha and the clandestine together, perhaps hinting Aisha is a different entity from the Noor dimension, explaining why her great-granddaughter possesses unusual powers and abilities. Yeah, I thought that too. What's behind that? That one we won't know because Waleed's no longer with us, but...
Right.
Yeah, she was different. I don't know.
I wonder if, the Red Daggers trained Sana, and then that's why she was so cool, knowing they were going to come and somehow train her granddaughter.
I don't know, because it seemed to me like they're suggesting this ability, the genetics, skip a generation.
So you think her mom had something?
No, her mom got skipped.
Yeah.
And her grandma got skipped because it went from great-grandma to Kamala.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not exactly.
Maybe they talked to her and they were trying to see if she had powers. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, it's very possible they could have ran into Aisha back in the day.
I don't think we're going to get answers.
No, we're not.
Yeah, I don't think we are. The Red Daggers train Ms. Marvel in the use of her powers, and Kamala Khan strikes a recognizable power pose from the comics. Gotta have it. It's interesting to note that it's the first time she struck one of her own poses rather than imitating one of the other superheroes, notably Black Widow in Episode 2. Curiously, the weaving purple energy surrounding her body is increasingly looking familiar to the powers of another comic character, Indra, last seen in X-Men Legacy number 234. However, it's possible to say that there's a connection, whether there's a connection at this stage. Have you guys looked at the eye color? It's not always purple, is it?
I mean, it's only purple right before she starts using her power.
I don't know, because when Najma and Kamala were looking at the train, both their eyes were purple.
Right.
Maybe it's just when the Noor is supposed to be activated?
Yeah.
Or the Noor from the other dimension or something?
They saying they share genetics? Do they share the same genetics? Why would they? I mean, Aisha wasn't related to Najma at all, right? I don't know. Not that I know.
She could have been family from the other dimension. We don't know.
So slowly, Ms. Marvel's costume is taking shape, and it's too slow for me. Episode 4 sees Kamala Khan take another step towards her comic book costume. Bruno has already given her the traditional Ms. Marvel domino mask, and in Episode 4, she's given a garment by Waleed, one he claims has history woven into every thread. Well, this doesn't quite give Ms. Marvel her comic book costume. It nonetheless gives her the distinctive profile and color scheme from the comics. This is a smart move, symbolically showing Kamala Khan is moving closer to her true identity. Promotional images have confirmed this isn't anything like the final costume, of course. The last 2 episodes of Ms. Marvel can see Kamala take shape.
Well, we'd love to hear your... Right.
You guys have a problem? I don't know how to put this. The illustrated version and the ones they use in the show has different body type than our actress from Canada.
Right.
I don't think that doesn't seem fair to Iman.
Yeah, put her in the skin tight clothes.
Yeah, I don't know. She's just a kid. But I guess what I'm saying is the comic version seems a bit more mature all the time.
Yep.
Yes. let's not get into Dick Grayson's butt.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what the final looks like and see if it's... I don't think it'll be quite as risque as the comics can be, but we will see.
Yeah.
Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts on each and every episode this season. Our deadline for feedback is 6 p.m. Eastern every Friday during the season. You can send your feedback via email or audio to contact us at fangirlzone.com.
Please review and rate us on iTunes and any other platform used for your podcast with good ratings and reviews that helps other fans of the show find us, as there are plenty of other Marvel podcasts out there. Tell your friends, not with our fashion sense, obviously.
Yeah.
Tell your friends, and I hope you're enjoying our podcast. And don't forget to check out the other great Fangirl Zone podcasts.
You can find everything over at www.fangirlzone.com. Click on our contacts page with all the ways to get a hold of us. And you can find all the podcasts over there. And we want to hear from you, your theories, your questions, everything. What do you think about the outfit? How it's shaping up? And for this episode of the Marvelous Post-Lit Podcast,
I'm Steve. How do you know I'm not Canadian?
I'm Shawn Fangirl S. And you didn't answer when I asked if this was spicy. I don't know if I trust it.
And this is Mischievous Dave, and I think Kamala needs to stop monkeying around because she's not on the last train to Clarksville.
There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.